Welcome to ATB TV. I'm Darren Dance here with Peter Morganti on this Friday, July 7. And it's real winter time here. We're racing on wet tracks and synthetic tracks. And we haven't got a lot of runners going around, but we've got a lot of horses in work and quite a few more to get out of the spelling paddock, Pete, which I'm pretty sure they'll be happy about in the next couple of weeks.
Yep.
As we roll into the spring.
Talk about different tracks, Darren. Due to my negligence, we've gone from outside to inside. Left the camera card at home, so
we're indoors today.
Stand-up comedy in the kitchen.
In the Morganti mansion.
The mess, if anyone wants a job.
That's a long way from the front door of the lounge here.
Yeah.
In this palace.
Yes, it's a cricket pitch.
Yeah, the Morganti mansion, we'll call it.
It's a messy mansion. I've got strict orders to get my Sadie, the cleaning lady, outfit on the weekend. I'm the only one home.
You could play the song, John Farnham.
I get the vacuum cleaner out. It's about the extent of my cleaning. Yes.
Right, just the two runners to talk about.
Yeah, we bit light on last week. We went to Geelong first with Samurai Star. Yeah, look, things didn't probably work out 100% there. Just the wire barrier, it either works for you, it doesn't. I think we've seen a couple of good riding displays last weekend. I think it was Yandel at Warren, and it was John Allen at Geelong who found the the shortest way home in our race. Meanwhile, while he was taking shortcuts, we were getting sort of pushed off the track by, it's a grey horse, I think, I can't remember. But he ran well, he ran sixth, possibly with a little bit of luck he runs a place. We've since found out that he's probably, he has come to the end of his prep and he'll go out for a month or 6 weeks. Yeah. But we've seen some really good signs from what looks like a promising middle distance horse.
Yeah, just no luck. Going back and coming wide, and Johnny Allen put on a masterclass there on Friday. I think he rode 3 winners, and 2 of them he just darted through on the fence because they all got off the fence, and he darted through and then got to the crown and won pretty well on his horses. We had to come wide, and as you say, that horse Billy Eagles on pushed us right off the track.
Yeah.
And look, we think we covered an extra 5 lengths to the winner and got beat 3.6. Not saying, you can't say that we're certainly beaten, but we certainly should have finished in the top 3.
Interesting that Jared Fry won a race. I don't know if it's the next race, but one of the following races doing exactly what John Allen did.
Yeah.
So good jockeys learn.
They watch the replays and they pick it up, but
it's obviously barrier assisted as well.
Well, I think you have a plan, and like if you go up the fence and it doesn't open, you look like a fool. So the percentages are to come around, but just getting pushed off by that great horse didn't help. He was just angling out on us, trying to get to that fast lane and pushing us into the wetter ground. But to me, he raced more like a 2,000 metre horse on Friday. He didn't drag the rider into the race. He had to be pushed, and I still thought the run was full of merit. He's done a good job this prep. He's won his maiden. He showed that he's a proper horse, and he showed that he's going to be a nice stayer in the making. So I'll pick him up, and we'll get him out in the paddock and give him a break and reload for later in the year.
Yep. Following day out to Warrnambool, which was a jumps day in essence, but there was some high weight races and we had Raise the Colours there, and I must admit I'd put the race on after about 1,000 metres, and we're up there punching towards the lead, and look, I don't know whether that's 100% the best way to ride her, but I then went to watch the replay and I didn't, so I'm not too sure what happened at the start. But I mean, she tired late, but she was back against the rail, probably in inferior ground, and to me, she's a relaxed, run-on type of horse rather than one up there doing all the hard work.
Yeah, look, it's just a mess.
Yeah.
I hate high weight racing. I think high weight racing is for horses that are 16.2 and bigger, that can carry that weight.
Well, and in essence for jumpers too, in a way.
Yeah, she's not a big, robust mare. She's got to carry that big weight.
Yeah.
She pings the gates. He sits on her. She's jogging on the worst part of the track on the fence. And, he thought he was going to win on the corner, but when he went for her, he said there was nothing there and she just dropped out. But we've come to the conclusion that we're done. She's online today, actually.
Oh, righto. Yeah.
So she's online, and hopefully we get a bid.
A bid.
Hopefully.
Try to pop one in.
We just can't afford to keep racing these
that's-
horses at this level, given the training fees we have to pay now.
Yeah.
And, you know, there's no fun in running around in 58s
No.
and hoping. She showed an enormous amount of talent early. Probably shouldn't have went to the Oaks, but she's never been the same since. And we've tried everything with her. And it's time to pull up stumps and move on.
Yep, agree. So they were the two. We also had an Irishman who was scratched from yesterday at Maui, and potentially he'll go to Sandown next Wednesday. He's nominated for a 1200 there. The horses we do know that are running.
So we didn't go to Maui because we drew off the track.
Oh, you drew wide. Yeah,
it was really wet.
Really wet, yeah.
So apparently he's a horse that needs a 6 or a 7 at worst.
He talk about travelling from one end of the spectrum to the other. He's gone to Morfettville, and we're going to go to Maui.
Well, he had other runners. I don't know how he went. I didn't look at the results.
I didn't actually
yesterday.
look, righto.
But anyway, he'll live for another day.
Yeah, so he's generally raced okay at Sandown. That's a track that'll suit. He's only second up. I mean, we're building into his preparation. So 1200 there, benchmark 70. We'll see whether the fields come out Monday. Tomorrow we do head interstate again to Gawler, where Archie Alexander looks to have found a really nice race for Crackerjack Prince. We've had to look over that way simply because there's not a lot of races about for horses like him.
These horses that are in the 70 ratings,
Yeah.
it's very hard this time of year if you want to run on turf. So there's so many synthetic races.
There's nothing.
And then on the turf there's very little, or you end up on 10s.
Yeah.
You know, some of these tracks, I think Donald's at 10 at the moment. Question mark if they get the rain tonight whether they'll race.
Well, Wodonga's already moved to Pakenham Synthetic for Sunday.
So here we are in July.
Werribee be heavy 10 Sunday.
And I don't really feel like we've had a lot of rain, but
No.
these tracks are soaked. I mean, I know it's wet at home, but it's not nowhere near as wet as it was last year.
I think it's because we got, I don't know if it was an abnormal amount, but once we never had a proper sort of autumn. We got a bit of rain.
I think the water table's still high.
Oh, yeah.
So it doesn't take much. So I think now, if you don't handle the wet, you got two options: in the paddock, or running synthetic. It's tough going.
It was interesting. I think just to highlight that point was the Warrnambool meeting last was it Friday? There was 10 races. There was 100. I think they said there was 184 horses accepted.
Wow.
And obviously a lot of those got balloted out because so they had to split 2 or 3 different races. So that highlights people are looking for turf.
There's a lot of horses trying to get on them.
Yeah, and a lot of those were benchmark 52s to 58. So a lot of horses in that category as well as, you know, a bit higher up. So, it's awkward.
So anyway, we found a race at Gawler.
Field of 8 or field of 9.
Yeah, and I think he's about $4.50.
Yeah, seen 480.
So he's short enough in the market.
Todd Panel, I think.
It's never easy to go there and win.
No, and
never.
I'm not. Barrier 1, yeah, all right, you don't go around a horse. I'd rather draw 2, if that makes sense, so you can just stay off the fence.
Yeah, well, with him, I'd like to see him in 3 and 4 myself. Just not be the one on the rail, be the one off the rail. But anyway, look, he's a good rider.
It's not a big field, which helps.
He's probably got a bit on these if he's right. So he's had a good prep. You know, he's probably at his peak now.
Yep.
And Archie's horses are certainly flying at the minute since he's come back from his little holiday.
Well, did he have a treble last week?
Yeah, treble at Geelong.
Yeah.
So he's going all right. So good luck to the owners. Bit hard to go over there and watch him, but we'll certainly be tuning in.
Gawler too is probably a little bit. It's a different track to Morphettville, so it's a big stroke. I just think he gets an ounce of luck. He's right. He's right there.
We'll be certainly tipping him each way or better.
Yep. Tuesday, Ballarat Synthetic. Typically, we're talking about wanting to get on the turf, and we just heard Tom Dabinick say that he wanted to go to Donald, but it's heavy 9 or 10 now. No chance of it drying it significantly. He didn't want to knock the horse around early in his prep, so we go to the Synto, where he ran really well first up over 1200 out to 1400. If you can settle in a nice spot and they do run on, well, he'd be probably hard to beat, I would say. Jared Fry, instead of Brad Rawilla, who's got a holiday.
He's out again. more holidays than you. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, synthetic, I can never be confident.
No.
Like, I can never stand here and say to you, back it each way.
No.
I think I just, I tend to watch the race, and I tend to sit there and watch their head to see if they are annoyed by the kickback or whether the jockey can get them out of the kickback.
He did travel really well back in the field last time. But he did have him a little wider to sort of
3 wide just to counter it. Or
I'm not sure what.
I think the other thing is, and I don't see this a lot, but I reckon if you've got a horse in front of you on the synthetic, if you're going to have your head right up against the tail, the kickback
going under you
is hitting you below the legs or in the legs. It's not hitting you in the face. Now, you know yourself. Most of my clients out here are all athletes, so if you're running in the rain and the rain's hitting you in the face, you kind of don't like it. So if you can imagine running down that track and all this clay and sand's hitting you in the face, you're going to be like this. But if you're right up close, and the kickback's hitting you in the chest or in the legs, I don't like them to sit one length back behind the horse in front. I like them right up close. I think they travel better, but it's like trying to pick 6 numbers in Tatzel. I don't know what's going to happen.
I suppose
but you've got to get a run into it.
Yeah, and the fact he's had one run on it and did charge late, I think you go there with a little bit more confidence than not knowing that they've never been on it. So
I go there with no confidence.
Anyway,
in fact, I don't. Yeah, Tuesday is it?
Yeah.
Oh well, I'll probably go.
Field of
sunny Ballarat, t-shirt and shorts.
Oh jeez, gate 4 and a field of 8 and 9, so you won't be far off them. And well.
Jared Fry does ride a lot there.
It rides well.
I must say, I give Tom Dabney a bit of a rap, Norma's Fleet came home on Monday.
Yep.
The coat on her looked like she'd come from Queensland.
Yeah.
She looked fit. She was a little bit tight over the back from running, but her coat looked like she'd been living in Queensland.
I think you said the same when Hasseltoff came
home. They come home with tremendous coats, whatever he does. I don't know, he must have 6 rugs on him.
Yep.
Or electric blanket or something. I don't know, but just looked fantastic.
He trying a few. I'll tell you, he loves going over to South Australia. He's over the Mount again and got a double or a treble again.
I reckon he only goes there to go to the winery and get a box of red or something from the Barossa.
You reckon he might be the passenger in the truck as well?
Oh, I reckon.
Him and Harry Grace. Harry Grace teaming up with Tom, teaming up with Pat Ryan. He's having a good...
Well, he lives in Warrnambool, rides a lot of work, so he's getting the advantage of that.
I see,
And you don't really rate him.
Say nothing at all. I don't think he watches this highly rated program. Just on. Do you throw me there? Just Bowie Mertens and obviously Pete Mertens. His dad passed away last week. His funeral yesterday, and I see Bowie's back down that way and going to be riding Coleraine jump out. So I think he might be getting attached with Lindsay Smith a little bit more.
Oh, right.
On the run, but
back into Warrnambool?
Not too Warrnambool, but obviously riding down that way. But it was sad. I think Pete Mertens has been sort of ill for 4 or 5 years now, and finally succumbed to cancer.
Gone too soon. It's
rode Weary's first Group 1 winner.
Did he? He rode a few winners for us with Matty Williams there for a while. He was riding all our ATB horses from Matty.
I remember going to Dunkeld one day where we had 5 there and P. Burns was on them all. Can you remember that day?
They were all favourite and none of them ran a place.
I don't think we had one place. God.
I've never been back.
It was that.
I've never been back to Dunkeld.
She's Archie was his first Group 1 winner in the Oaks in South Australia. No,
did he ride She's Archie in the Melbourne Cup or not?
That I can't answer.
I was trying to think who rode She's Archie.
I don't know because they brought up his rides, and I know he rode Big Pat, thing with Griffiths for Dean Lester and the crew. And he rode. I think it was a Cummings horse, but I'm not too.
I liked him because he could get off and tell you something. He could say, "Look, this is no good," or "It needs further," or take the blinkers off. He could actually give you good advice.
Good advice,
which is something lacking now, as you keep telling me.
We'll move on. Obviously, fields aren't out for next week. Next Wednesday. They will be Monday. Sandown potentially will have a couple of runners. We mentioned an Irishman. Pat's.
He's nommed
for a 1200, benchmark 70. Obviously, we're always trying to win races, but it's more a fitness run because he didn't trial, so this is more or less his second trial.
Yeah, is it a 1200?
Yeah.
So it's a trial, isn't it? It's a paid trial.
Basically, yeah.
And that's why I don't want to run him on a 10 because he's not fit enough.
Yeah.
It's not that he doesn't handle it, it's just He wants to get him fit without flattening him. So
well, that's right.
That's what he's trying to do.
In essence, it's been a short prep to get to the races, but we're really just in trial stage.
Yeah, so he's one that we do want running around on heavy tens and winning. So, it's sooner or later. But he said he's tightened up really well from the Adelaide trip.
Yep.
And I was surprised he actually had room to put him on the truck to bring him back, because he would have had that much cash from training a 60-1 winner and a 100-1 winner. I don't know how he fit the horse on the truck.
I think he hired a trailer, put the cash in the way out.
I bet you he had a sore head on the Sunday.
I wonder if he took all three of them.
No, he didn't. He told me he didn't get the multi. Ooh. Took the wrong horse.
One of them's 100-1 winner.
You might have left that one out, I reckon.
You couldn't put, you just back it a little bit each way, but your multi would have to be the other. He liked the $10 one, the best of the rest. So
I don't know how you.
Anyway, good job, well done. Hopefully, an Irishman can tick a box probably about a month down the track.
I think we need this run under a belt.
Yeah. And also, a serious statement with Saab Hassan potentially first up in a 3-year-old over 1,200.
Nond.
Yes.
First up, once again, we're trying to keep it off heavy tracks.
Yeah.
There's easier races, but we just feel if we go to Sandown, we might get a 6 or a 7.
Yeah.
Whereas anywhere in the bush at the moment, it's a 10, and we didn't really want to go to synthetic. Trialled up good twice, ready to go. Probably this breed don't win first up.
No.
But should run well if it runs.
She was good at a debut, but that was 1,400 at Maiden Company.
Yeah, so I think a wettish track at Sandown's probably like 1,300.
Yeah.
So, and I think we're just going to wait to the last minute to decide whether we run or not, based on the track and making sure her bloods are right and everything else. So stay tuned, but it'll be a late decision probably on Monday or Tuesday whether we go to Sandown with her or not.
Certainly a filly with good, nice potential.
Appears to have above average ability.
Yeah. Cool. Well, they're the ones you look after all your horses, but I mean, obviously you try and get it right when you go. It's interesting listening to the Sandown track manager. He said it's so hard now because the tracks are so wet. You could have 6 days of no rain and cold, and then you get 2 mils, and you're back to where you were 6 days ago. It's just, that's the way it is,
Even feeding the horses yesterday, it was like it's wet.
Yeah.
But once you get out of the gateways into the paddocks where you feed them, on Thursday morning it was greasy and wet. This morning, because we had all that wind, it was actually firm on top, like dried out. It's just not greasy. It was sticky but not greasy. And then now it started to rain. Tomorrow it'll be wet again.
Back the same.
So we're sitting at probably a heavy 15 in the gateways.
Well, it's a little bit, we've got 2 months of that still to go, probably.
Well, they keep saying we're going into El Nino, but they said it hasn't formed or not down here yet. But we'll take all the rain we can get. It's it's a question of how long the rain lasts. But it can be wet for the next 8 weeks, but and then it'll start to dry out.
From a racing point of view, it's we're back at Caulfield.
So John Monash,
and that's sort of like flicking the page into spring a little bit.
It keeps us interested, doesn't it? With those 2 stakes races coming up at Caulfield for the sprinters. I think we won the Monash one year.
Yeah, I'm trying to think, who was it?
I know Joshua's probably won it early days, but we did have a winner there not too long ago.
I know a day where Matthew Williams was going to throttle the jockey.
Oh, yeah.
Luxurious.
Yeah, Dean Nendel. He was lucky to still be alive. I think he hit him on the head and he dropped 4 inches. I've never seen Beatrice so angry as that day.
Oh, yeah, he went red.
He didn't even talk to anyone. He had steam coming out of his ears. I think his head went scarlet.
Because that was...
Up the fence.
I reckon we'd won the...
Tried to go up the fence.
We won the Wongoom and then went and won that Spring Stakes. Topaz and Spring Stakes. We're going 4 in a row. Yeah.
Butchered it.
No. He was out of his mood boot then too.
But that's what happens when you go up the rail and you don't get around. And Caulfield's it's hard to get around up the rail. They don't get off the rail at Caulfield like other tracks.
Well, all the good riders, and we were going in as one of the favourite runners, so they know where you are when you're on the rail.
Mate, at the end of the day, we'd won 3 in a row. They're just being greedy.
Yeah, potentially.
It was a funny day because every owner was there because we'd won 3 in a row.
Yeah.
And everyone knew when it went over the line that it never got off the bridle. And everyone looked at Matthew Williams and he was doing his block. I've only ever seen him do that once before, and that was at Trang Trials one day when that lady on the grey horse upset him, but he nearly got suspended there. But the owners were laughing. They were laughing at what Beetroot was going on.
It blew up, took their mind off the result.
Yeah, they were laughing.
Because we had Ryan Maloney ride over at Adelaide, and then because Dean was available and back on, but there was some funny commentary.
Sometimes the funnier days are the days you get beat.
Yeah, well, it's not a bad way to go, because otherwise, if you're going to be upset with every time you lose, you're going to be upset a lot of times at the races.
Yeah, there was a trainer talking about that during the week. That, you know, basically we race horses and it's a game of expectation.
Yeah.
But, you know, you find out who the good people are when you get beat.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
You know, because we get beat more often than we win. So,
well,
you know, we're lucky to win 1 in 16,
well,
1 in 10.
Well, the 16% is a high ratio.
Yeah.
That's 1 in 6.
Yeah, so 5 times you'll lose.
Yeah.
You know, so...
And, you know, you probably say, well, a couple of those runs you're not going to win unless you're a sprinter and and then you probably get a window of about 4 runs.
Yeah.
Really, don't you? And you need to cash in on one of those 4.
Yeah, exactly.
And if you get a couple, you're laughing.
Well, they say you got to enjoy the wins, and that's why.
Yeah.
So you've got to really live off the wins. The only other thing on sad note, we lost one of our owners overnight. Yeah. Kevin Daisley from Lismore passed away sadly overnight. So our condolences to his wife Audrey and the family. Good old fella, Kev.
Long time supporter, and all the time I've been involved, he's
cheeky little bugger.
Always get a phone call. What's going on? What's going on?
A real racing man. Been in horses all his life, raced horses all his life. Trained greyhounds there until he got unwell. I think he was a painter and docker.
Righto.
A little bit of rough around the edges.
He's seen plenty.
A cheeky grin with sparkly eyes, and he could have written a book, but he never.
Fell in love with Paul Prushka in the end as a trainer.
Yeah, had a couple. I think he had a couple of winners last week, and he's got a favourite, one of his horses' favourite tomorrow.
Oh, righto.
Tomorrow at Caulfield.
Oh, right.
With Prushka.
Oh, would be lovely to see it run well.
There would be. So, you know, condolences to the family. You know, great supporter of ATB over the years, and it's a sad loss for everyone.
Yeah, condolence.
To Kevin Daisley.
Yeah, I called in a couple of times just for call in and say hello if you're going. Like, he hated to think that you drove past.
Yeah.
And the first time I called in there, and Audrey had me sitting down in a cuppa, and then Kev said, "No, don't sit down. We've got to go through all these photos." There was dog photos that went. You probably know it. The lounge, out into the kitchen. And
the house was full of photos.
Absolutely full of photos.
But just a gentleman.
Yeah,
just
lovely
great.
fella.
Great couple, so it's a sad time for them.
I remember when we were advertising horses across different times over the last 6 years, he'd ring up. What do you think?
I can only afford $2,000.
That's right, he had his budget.
Yep. $2,000.
Where do I go?
Your horses are too dear.
Yeah.
It's too dear.
What about him as a trainer? What do you think about? Don't like him.
He's very much black and white, wasn't he?
Yeah,
you know, Colin would say. Black and white. He either liked him or hated him.
Yes.
But anyway, no, it's a sad day. But had a lot of good fun times with Kevin. He always had a cheeky grin or a little story to tell.
Did so, yeah.
And he loved it when they won. He loved it. So it's but he's going to be missed.
Absolutely.
Around the track.
Absolutely.
Because he always got to the races, didn't he?
Yeah, he never missed.
I think in COVID, when I think you're allowed to have one owner there or something at one stage. And anyway, we made sure he got there.
Yeah.
And he thought he was like Lord Williams. He was talking to the jockey and talking to the trainer. He just loved it, and that's what you like to see.
Yeah. No, and the other thing was with the email. Well, we got the email. I said, get Audrey to have a look in spam. What? Some funny conversations, but you know, you never thought. You just wanted to help where you could, you know, and you'd give him a call or call him because he just loved the game and he loved being involved, and yeah, like you said, he loved winning, and he'd be on the phone, where are we going next? Kev, rest in peace, Kev.
Good fella.
Yep.
All right, well, on that sad note, we might wrap it up, Pete, for this week, and we'll see how Crackerjack Prince goes tomorrow at Gawler.
Ounce of luck, sorry, not an inch. We'll take an inch of luck. Might win by an inch, but we'll take
Archie's in form.
Yeah, it'd be very hard to beat. I reckon on the $485 in a field of 8 off his Sandown run's probably a nice way to go.
And I might see some of you at Ballarat on Tuesday.
Arizona dreaming.
Have a good weekend.
Roger in the group.
Roger will be there. Big Rog.
See you guys.
Till next week, Darren Dance, Peter Morgani. Have a great weekend.